What is your life? It's but a vapor, here for a moment, and then gone. If someone had told me at 20 years old that life would pass in the blink of an eye, I would have laughed it off, certain that my time stretched on endlessly. But now I stand before you, knowing the truth that every second slips through our fingers like sand, and we hardly notice it vanishing. And if I tell you now how brief life truly is, many of you will nod, but deep down, you won't believe it, just as I didn't. There's a lesson we keep avoiding, a truth we resist, yet time relentlessly marches on. I've seen youth wasted in the hope that tomorrow will always be there. I've seen people convince themselves that they'll always have more time. But let me tell you, you won't. Each of us is given the same amount of time, 1,440 minutes a day, and those minutes pass whether we use them or waste them. What are you doing with yours? What are your priorities? What if I told you that one day you'll wish you had made different choices? That one day you'll look back and realize you spent so much time waiting for the perfect moment that never came, waiting for the right time to act, to speak, to love, to forgive. Now is the accepted time. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Now the things you ought to do them now. The relationships you need to mend them now. That family member who needs your time, they need it now. The dreams you keep shelving, pursue them now. The clock ticks mercilessly and every tick says, now. Today is the day to hear the call. There may not be a tomorrow, for you or for me. Time is running out. Life is too short for indecision, too short for hesitation. We teeter on the edge, caught between choices, delaying the most important decisions of our lives. But fools tell themselves that there is always more time. They waste their hours as though they can buy more of them later. Each morning we wake up with 86,400 seconds deposited into our personal bank account called time. But unlike money, you sometimes can't roll over unused minutes to the next day. There are no overdrafts. If you don't use today's deposit, it's gone, forever. The Bible tells us to redeem the time because the days are evil, and what evil days we live in. If there was ever a time for truth, for action, for transformation, it is now. Jesus said, as long as it is day, we must do the works of him who sent me. The night is coming when no man can work. There is a night coming for each of us, a time when our work will be done, whether we're ready or not. Will you be ready? Jesus lived only 33 years on this earth, and his life ended on a cross, a symbol of failure to the world at the time. Yet, as he hung on that cross, he declared, I have finished the work that thou gavest me to do. It didn't matter that his years were few, because the quality of his life was complete. Can you say the same? Will your work be finished when your time runs out? What are you investing your time in? What legacy are you leaving behind? Imagine if we tithed our time to God as we tithe our income. Imagine if we gave a portion of our minutes each day to the work of his kingdom, to spreading love, truth, and hope. The power you need is in God's word. Those who know the word are those who walk in strength. We need men and women who walk with God today, now. If you fill your heart with the word, if you let it guide your life, you too can say, I have finished the work when your time is up. But hear me now. Time is not only short, it's running out. God himself said that a time is coming when he will shake the world, and what can be shaken will fall away. There will be no escape from those moments when life presses down on you, when the pressures of the world feel unbearable. Financial troubles, tension in your home, fear, doubt, they will come. But there is an answer, a way out. Jesus said, "I am the way." When everything around you changes, when the ground shifts beneath your feet, there is something that never changes. God never changes. Think about that for a moment. God is unchanging. The same God who created the heavens and the earth is the same God who watches over you today. The same God who delivered his people, who worked miracles, who loved the unlovable, is the same God who still reigns. He is unchanging in his holiness, in his justice, and in his love. God is unchanging in his holiness, and you and I have fallen short of his holy standards. We are all guilty. We are all in need of mercy. That's why Jesus came. He came to bear the weight of our sins, to stand in our place, and to take the judgment we deserved. But let me tell you this, there is a judgment day coming. Our God is a consuming fire, and one day, every one of us will stand before him. I won't stand there asking for justice. I'll be pleading for mercy. And that mercy is available because of Jesus. People, listen closely. Whatever you've done, no matter how many wrong choices you've made, how far you've wandered, or how heavy the weight of regret you carry, I want you to know this. God can forgive every single one of your mistakes. Every sin, every moment you wish you could take back. He can wipe it clean through the power of Jesus' sacrifice. Imagine this, your heart as pure as it was the day you were born, your conscience no longer burdened by guilt, and your soul washed in forgiveness. That's the power of Christ's love, his mercy, and his grace. But let me take this further. Let's talk about life's greatest lesson, the one that so many of us learn too late, long after we've wasted time, energy, and potential on the wrong things. You don't need to reach the end of your life to understand this. And if you truly grasp it now, it will change everything about the way you live, love, and move through this world. Here is the truth. Life is not as long as you think it is. When you're young, time feels like an endless ocean stretching out before you. You think you'll always have more time to pursue your dreams, more chances to repair relationships, more opportunities to change your path. But that's an illusion. Life is fleeting, a series of moments that pass quicker than you can imagine. And the biggest mistake you can make is to believe that you'll always have tomorrow. The most profound lesson of life is this: nothing is more precious than time. Think about that for a second. Time is the one thing that, once spent, you can never get back. Every second, every minute, every day is a gift, and how you choose to spend that gift defines the legacy you leave behind. Are you wasting time chasing things that don't matter? Are you caught up in distractions, in petty arguments, in material things that will one day fade away? Or are you investing your time in what truly matters? Your growth, your relationships, your purpose. I'm telling you this not to frighten you, but to free you. When you realize the brevity of life, you stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You stop living for other people's expectations, and you start living for what's true to you. You stop waiting for someday and start making today count. Here's another hard truth. You are not invincible. When we're young, we feel untouchable. We take risks, we make reckless decisions. We think we have all the time in the world to fix things. But life has a way of humbling you. It has a way of throwing obstacles in your path that you never saw coming. Sickness, loss, disappointment, failure. These moments come to all of us, and they remind us that life is fragile, unpredictable, and sometimes painfully short. But it's in these moments that you also find your greatest strength. You see, it's not the easy times that shape you. It's the hard times, the struggles, the battles that test your character and show you what you're made of. Resilience is one of the greatest gifts you can develop. It's the ability to keep going when everything in you wants to give up. It's the strength to stand back up after you've been knocked down. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you build step by step through every trial you face. So, young people, understand this. Life will not always be kind to you. It will challenge you in ways you never expected. But how you respond to those challenges is what defines your character. Will you crumble under pressure, or will you rise above it? Will you let your circumstances dictate your future, or will you take control and forge your own path? One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that happiness comes from success, from wealth, from achieving more. But here's the truth. True happiness doesn't come from what you have. It comes from who you are. You can chase after all the money, fame, and success in the world. But if you're not at peace with yourself, you'll always feel empty. You'll always be searching for something to fill the void. Happiness comes from knowing yourself, from living authentically, from aligning your life with your values. It comes from the relationships you build, the love you give, and the purpose you find. It's about living a life that's true to who you are, not who the world expects you to be. And let me tell you something else. You are more powerful than you realize. So many of us go through life feeling powerless, as though we're at the mercy of the world around us, of other people's opinions, of the obstacles in our way. But the truth is, you hold more power than you think. You have the power to shape your reality, to choose how you respond to the things that happen to you, to decide what kind of life you want to live. The greatest freedom you can give yourself is the freedom to take control of your own life. Stop waiting for someone else to save you. Stop looking for validation from others. Stop living for the approval of people who don't even understand who you are. You have the power to create a life that reflects your deepest values, your wildest dreams, and your truest self. But here's the catch. With great power comes great responsibility. You are responsible for the choices you make. You're responsible for the energy you bring into the world. You're responsible for how you treat others, for how you show up in your relationships, for the legacy you leave behind. Don't let that scare you. Let it empower you. Because when you realize that you are responsible for your life, you stop blaming others for your problems. You stop making excuses for why you're not where you want to be. And you start making real, meaningful changes. So, what's the greatest lesson you need to learn today? It's that you have the power to change your life, but you must do it now. Don't wait until tomorrow to make the changes you know you need to make today. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because there's no perfect moment. The time is now. Life is happening right now, And every day you delay is a day you will never get back. If there's something you need to forgive, do it now. If there's someone you need to reach out to, do it now. If there's a dream you've been putting off, start it now. If there's a change you've been afraid to make it now. Because the truth is, we don't have as much time as we think. One day, you'll look back and realize that the things you were afraid to do weren't as scary as you made them out to be. One day, you'll see that the only thing standing between you and the life you wanted was your own fear, your own hesitation. Don't let fear rob you of your future. Don't let doubt hold you back from the life you're meant to live. The most profound lesson of life is that it's short, unpredictable, and precious. You have one life, and how you spend it is up to you. Don't waste it. Don't squander it on things that don't matter. Live with intention. Live with purpose. Live with love. And above all, remember this: you are loved, and you are enough just as you are. You don't have to earn love or prove your worth. You don't have to be perfect to be deserving of happiness and peace. You are enough, right here, right now. And the sooner you believe that, the sooner you'll start living a life that's aligned with your true self. So, young people, hear me when I say this. Your past does not define you. Your mistakes do not determine your future. You are more than your failures, more than your regrets, more than the things that have held you back. God's grace is big enough to cover all of it. And even beyond the spiritual, the lesson remains. You are capable of becoming anything, of creating anything, of overcoming anything. But don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't live in fear. The time is now, and life is too short to be spent waiting for tomorrow. Declare today that you are ready to take control of your life. Declare today that you will no longer be held back by fear, by doubt, by the expectations of others. Declare today that you will live with purpose, with passion, with love. This is your moment. Your life is your legacy. Make it one worth remembering.